Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. The 1st of July, Princess Diana's birthday, the late Princess Diana's birthday. Hard to believe we are in the second half of 2025 already. Interesting article in the Daily Mail in the past day or so that has been scooped, I suppose, is a word one could use, from Sally Bedell-Smith's Substack. Now, she is a very highly regarded royal writer and very much on the inside of royal circles. And she has a Substack, and in the latest article she's written there, she has revealed what the late Lady Elizabeth Anson had to say. Well, basically repeating what the late Queen had to say about Harry and Meghan's behaviour pre-wedding in 2018. Elizabeth Anson was the Queen's cousin and really a confidant, one of her most loyal and trusted confidants, known since childhood. And she revealed to Sally Bedell-Smith some quite startling things, which Sally has now revealed to us. Interesting timing we're going to look at in the whys and wheres and wherefores of the timing in the next reading. But for now, I'm just going to give you some quotes that the late Queen allegedly said, or that was found out, that Harry was rude to the late Queen for 10 minutes in the run-up to the wedding. Meghan wouldn't tell the Queen about her wedding dress. It wasn't supposed to be white. It had all the flowers of the Commonwealth embroidered in that ridiculously long veil. The jury is out on whether the Queen likes Meghan. And then my Jemima is very worried. Those are some of them. Harry has lost his way. Some of the worst things that Sally Bedell-Smith was able to write, that this Lisa had said, the Queen said, confided in her. The worst, though, we hope, but don't quite think, Meghan is in love. We think she engineered it all. And the second worst, just by the way, Harry is neither bright nor strong. Meghan is both. So Meghan engineered it all the fighting, all the Mexiting, all the Harry getting all steamed up about his status and all of that. Meghan engineered it all. We hope, but don't quite think she is in love. Question that many people are asking in light of this revelation, or these revelations, is why, if the Queen was so suspicious, so disappointed, so upset, why was the marriage allowed to go ahead? And there are some speculations, things like maybe there was a pregnancy, cough, cough, a pregnancy. Maybe they were already married in Botswana or had gone through some sort of promise kind of ceremony or vow or something like that. Maybe it was to do with the race card, which of course those were the days of peak woke and Black Lives Matter and the Me Too movement. Very difficult for the royals to say, no, we're stopping Harry's marriage to a biracial woman. It would not have looked good. That's the main contender, really. But there are other things, like maybe the royals were just playing a long game and thought, give them enough rope, they'll hang themselves. They certainly have done that. It's taken a long time, but they're right there at the end, I would say. And then, of course, there's maybe they just wanted Harry off their hands. All of those things are being bandied around as possibles. I'm using just a plain old Rider-Waite today. I'm going to do a Celtic cross from the late Queen's perspective, putting her back in time in that run-up to the wedding, or in and around the Harry and Meghan saga while they were still working royals. Her situation, her big problem with them, what was at the root of it? I've listed some of the things people say. What was her goal in allowing this wedding to go forward? What was she hoping, basically? Energy pre-wedding, energy straight after the wedding, her view of Harry and Meghan, the pressure they put her under, and her hopes and fears for them, and then the outcome of their relationship as far as she was concerned. So just a Celtic cross. I'm curious to know in this first reading today, the Queen's actual feelings, her view of the situation in the context of why she didn't just put her foot down and say no. In fact, the wedding was expedited. Princess Eugenie was supposed to get married in May of 2018, and her wedding was pushed back to accommodate Harry and Meghan, who got married in a hell of a rush, really, which is why there's many people, myself included, who suspect a pregnancy might have been announced at some stage, and that rather capacious wedding gown with rather loose-fitting tummy area. That's, of course, opinion and speculation, and this is just tarot for fun and entertainment, and it is all opinion and speculation. And we just read energy here, and of course there is a disclaimer in the box below. So let's see how the Queen felt about things. Why didn't she feel she was able to stop this? Maybe literally the has-been was causing so much trouble in the royal family. They thought, hand him over to Meghan Markle and see what she can do with him. We have the Outcast card, the Five of Pentacles. That's Harry and Meghan, and that's Tess snoring in the background after a lovely long walk. Five of Pentacles is my one of my favorite Megxit cards. The Seven of Swords is also one. This is being outcast, being banished. And it gives me the sense that the royals figured it out. I think Lord Guyt was, Christopher Guyt was in charge at that time, of course, expert in psychology. He might have advised the royals about narcissism, about what was going to happen. They might have been well aware already pre-wedding or soon after wedding that Harry and Megxit were planning to Megxit and give them enough rope, let them hang themselves, that kind of energy. Harry, they had a dim view of him. We're going to look at that in the next reading. From his perspective, neither bright nor strong. Meghan, maybe over-promising, failing to deliver. She didn't exactly have a stellar career, despite what was put out by her PR people to make her look really quite spectacular. That's not good energy for Harry and Meghan. Weak, ill, disturbed, outcast, unwanted, unwelcome. Quite interesting energy. It's not the Queen's energy, never. Let's get to the Queen and the heart of the matter for her. In all this difficulty, and we get Judgment. And Judgment really is a card of being very wise, knowing outcomes. She'd seen it all by the time Harry and Meghan Markle arrived at Buckingham Palace. She'd been through the Wallace thing with the Wallace Simpson thing with her uncle, of course, the abdication. She knew it all. She'd seen it all. Prince Philip had seen it all. Princess Anne had seen it all. They all had seen it all. Maybe there were some that were more gullible than others in the royal family, but I think she knew exactly what was going on with that Judgment card. She knew. And a Judgment card is about second chances, so there might be a little bit of a maybe they will behave and maybe it will be okay. Let's hope that that's the case. But it's giving me more than that. It's giving me more wisdom, more shrewdness, more discernment about the situation, that she was wise enough, old enough, experienced enough, and also faithful enough. The real energy that's coming through with that Judgment card is faith. She was a very faithful Christian woman, the late Queen. And she might have looked at this and thought, I'm not going to judge. I'm going to forgive. I'm going to be open-hearted. I'm going to allow this to unfold. Give them the benefit of the doubt and see what they do with this opportunity. And it has been an extraordinary learning experience for all of us with that Judgment card. It's got forgiveness inherent in it. It's got being born again. It's got being waking up energy. So there's hope in there, quite strong hope that this is meant to be somehow, and that maybe the pair of them, awful as they are, and she certainly realised their flaws very early on, both of them. Maybe she thought, give them a chance, see what happens. We know what happened, Five of Pentacles. And she probably knew in her heart of hearts what was going to happen, but Give them a chance. So what was the problem with them? We got the King of Swords. I would say that she was being advised quite strongly by the late Prince Philip. There he is. Don't fall for this. Don't let it happen. Such interesting energy. Hers is much more forgiving, much more tolerant, a much broader perspective, much more faith-based. I think Prince Philip's energy, we haven't seen him on the tarot table for a very long time. I get quite emotional when he shows up in cards like this. He really does show up. King of Swords. He was the one who said, don't do this. And I think he was backed very strongly by courtiers, by people in government, by people in security agencies and things like that who knew everything there was to know about little Miss Markle, and also the has-been, and said, don't fall for it. Don't let it happen. It's going to damage the royal family. So that was her difficulty. Snore, snore, snore. She really can snore. She chooses this time to sleep most deeply, which I don't know if it reflects very well on what's going on here on the tarot table. But anyway, doesn't matter. Let's get down to the root of this situation. What was going on behind the scenes? What was the big worry, the big issue, basically, that made the Queen think, better go with this, better let this thing go forward rather than try and stop it? As I said, many contenders. What's the real issue here? We've got the Queen of Pentacles, and I'm getting loud Commonwealth vibes with that card, Queen of Pentacles. It's Meghan's energy, but it's Meghan portraying herself as the Queen of the Commonwealth. It's not the Queen of Hearts, it's not Queen of Cups, it's not Diana too. It's more grounded than that. It's more, I am the voice of the people, not the people that are normally represented by the monarchy. I am the voice of the people who are normally not represented by the monarchy. Maybe those flowers embroidered on the sensationally long veil spring to mind here. That there's also, with that pentacle being held the way she's holding it, as a sense of pregnancy. I wouldn't normally read that into the Queen of Pentacles, but there's just a feeling of she was nurturing something allegedly. Her body was allegedly feeding something, growing something, grounding something, about to express birth something. Rabbits, of course, very prolific breeders, shall we just say. It's the Commonwealth, though. I think Commonwealth and possible malignancy. I think those were the two things that stopped the Queen in her tracks and thought, dangerous to rock that boat. As William and Catherine found out later, they didn't rock the boat, they just kind of misstepped. And of course, the flames were fueled by Harry and Meghan's supporters, shall we say, that very difficult royal tour of the Caribbean. There's that, but maybe there was a bit of hope, naive hope, that Meghan would settle into that role and bring all those people along with her as supporters of the monarchy. Goal for the Queen in allowing this wedding to go forward, that she obviously was so anxious about justice, fairness, due process, the law, being seen to be fair, even-handed, equal opportunity kind of a card. That so can't allow white girlie to marry Kate Middleton and refuse American biracial divorcee an entry to the royal family. Can't do that. We've got to be seen to be fair. We've got to be seen to be democratic almost. It's an odd word to come to my mind, but it's also it's laws and rules and things like that. Play by the rules, bring them into the fold rather than getting them all steamed up and off they storm. Five of Pentacles. I think this was being threatened much earlier than we realize. Quite expressly threatened much earlier than we realize, that she thought rather keep them in where we can control them, where they have rules to honor, than make them feel so aggrieved that they go and cause trouble everywhere else. So big cards showing up. We've got kings and queens and major arcana, judgment and justice. That's law. I'm almost getting, and I have to say this is my opinion and wild speculation, I'm almost getting that there were legal threats to the Queen from Harry and Meghan. There might have been, in that 10 minutes of supreme rudeness to the late Queen, there might have been threats from Harry that if you don't do this, if you don't allow this, I will sue. I don't know who he thought he might sue, but the idea of suing for status might have been planted very early on, and it might have been planted about things like the Duchy of Cornwall and stuff like that. Interesting. I wouldn't have expected that to show up, but it has. Complex, a minefield for the late Queen to navigate, really. Energy pre-wedding, we're just going to ask what was going on. We all kind of know, because we all saw, 10 of Cups in reverse. This was one very unhappy royal family, absolutely. And they did not believe in happy ever after. They did not believe that this marriage would last. And look, it may last forever and ever and ever in name and on paper, but in actual emotions and interactions and family and all of that kind of stuff, I would say it's been over, for my personal opinion, well over a year, if not 2, even longer than that, in terms of their actual connection, Harry and Meghan. But we have the unhappy ever after card, a breakup card, misery, caused misery within the royal family itself, but also, what did they say? We hope, but don't quite think she's in love. She was play acting, she was pretending she wanted this 10 of Cups. She wanted something quite different. She wanted to be queen of all she surveyed, Queen of Pentacles. So energy after the wedding, from the late Queen's perspective, how did she see things? The moon in reverse, that's a pregnancy card. That's secrets being exposed, revelations, truths coming out, suspicions being confirmed, things she was worried about, things she had doubts about, being confirmed, being expressed to Lady, I don't know if it's Lisa or Liza, but being told to her, very worried. My Jemima is very worried. Harry has lost his way. All of this stuff, the Queen had her suspicions and her doubts confirmed. But also the moon, it's a very Diana card. It's a very pregnant birth, children card as well. And we had all that mystery around Archie's birth and then Lilibet's birth that would have raised eyebrows, would have caused possible investigations and things like that when the Queen finally got wind of the doubts and the questions and so on. A very elderly lady by then, of course. She was in her 90s, and to be expected to be on the ball, like, I think people judge her by, you know, if they're in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, I think different. That's my take on it. Apologies to anyone out there I'm offending deeply in saying those things. That's just my personal experience of aging. So again, apologies if I have offended anyone. The late Queen's view of Meghan Markle and her influence on Harry and what she was up to. All about me. There she is, the sun, attention seeking, Leo energy. Of course, the sun is Leo energy, basking in the attention, the glory, the having so much fun, enjoying herself, but all about me. Leo can be all about me when it gets a bit carried away with how glorious it is energy wise, and it's showing up there. It's not a terrible card, but it is, the focus is all on Meghan, always on Meghan. Elbowed Harry out the way. She was first. She didn't follow protocol, rules that I spoke about. Justice, protocol was the word I was actually scratching around for mentally and couldn't find in that moment. But here it is. Meghan, so determined to be front and center. It was all about her. It wasn't bothered with protocol. Just wanted to be famous, wanted to be seen, wanted to be noticed. What pressure was the Queen under from Harry and Meghan throughout the stuff? Seven of Wands, they just attacked and attacked and attacked, and she felt that she was constantly being menaced by them. It's a terrible energy. Again, going back to her age, going back to her health condition. I don't think I've mentioned that at the time she was suffering from a very painful form of cancer. She was keeping it private. She was still doing her public duty well into her 90s. She was still absolutely on the ball. She had all her mental faculties, but she was struggling physically. She was going through grief. She lost her husband. She had other problems to deal with in the royal family, like the Andrew situation, and so on and so on. So they were pounding away, Harry and Meghan. They were attacking her and her family, her beloved Commonwealth, her beloved royal family, the monarchy, pounding away at her. And she was having to defend herself. Put her in a situation she'd never before experienced. Well, she had the odd moment, as the Crown reminded us, although some years ago. But they really attacked her, and she really felt that she had to do things differently to counter their attacks. And she did have the old never complain, never explain motto. We're going to look at that in the next reading. Looks like that's gone down the drain. But she had to push back. Recollections may vary. I think was her most famous moment of pushing back. That is Seven of Wands energy. Her hopes and fears for this very difficult situation. Six of Cups. She knew. What I didn't mention in the quotes that I've mentioned from Sally Bedell Smith, Substack, and the Daily Mail article was that they mentioned how William and Harry had fallen out. Catherine and Harry had fallen out. They'd all fallen out. She was worried about that. Six of Cups in reverse. She was very worried that terminal damage was being done to that relationship, the William and Harry connection. Childhood, the Six of Cups. Innocence, shared memories, good times from the past that had been ruined by Meghan Markle, her arrival on the scene. Shall we throw in an allegedly, in my opinion, just because? Outcome from the Queen's point of view. We have the outcome here, the Five of Pentacles. Off they went. And it's a card of illness as well as a card of poverty and isolation and ruin. So how did she see the outcome? What did she feel? We got the Six of Pentacles in reverse. The Six of Pentacles is about charity, is about sharing, is about reciprocity, putting in as well as taking out when it's upright. They went off, the Parkles went off allegedly because service is universal. They were going to set up Archewell and they were going to do all those lovely things to save the world. But what did they do? They signed Netflix deals and so on and so on. Archewell seems to be how can I describe it? Well, let's use that favorite word, grifting. It seems to wash money in and out. Allegedly, some of that money that Elon Musk's boys went after, and girls, quite recently. And all of that we've looked at in the past 6 months or so, they were not motivated by charity. They were motivated by greed. They wanted to take more than they wanted to put in. So all this idea that they were going to be so sweet and nice and kind and humanitarian and go and serve everyone overseas, nope. And she saw it. She saw it really motivated them. What they were really after. They were not after love. They were after other things. We think she engineered it all. She engineered it all. In my opinion, I'm reading the late Queen's energy and expressing my opinion about it. She was in it for the grift, not for the charity and the humanitarianism and all of that. That's how this is reading for me as an energy reader, or my opinion. Of course, that's the reading. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.